Welcome, everybody. You are listening to the very first episode of 2Blue and OSU, the ultimate sports podcast for your entertainment. I am joined, like I will be for many podcasts to come, with my co-hosts, Morgan Garber. How we doing, Morgan?
I'm good, bud. It's a beautiful snow evening here in Ohio, man. How you doing?
Outstanding. And I have on the phone, yet again, Doug. Doug, what's going on, big guy?
Just snow and cold and miserable weather, but you know what? It's a good day because Broncos won.
The Broncos did win. If you haven't listened to our introduction episode, go check it out now. Doug and myself both picked the Broncos. Morgan picked the Panthers.
I did say I wanted the Broncos to win.
You can't.
So that has to count for something. So that has to count for something, right?
And I am your host, Zach Tillman. It's great to be here. We're very excited to get started. We have a great show coming up. We're going to get into some college football recruiting. We're going to talk about Super Bowl 50 from last night. The Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry and the amazing run that they're on. And we'll get into some professional all-star games. And that's one Morgan's looking forward to. Before we get started with that, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Morgan Garber.
Thank you, Zach. Before we get started, I'd like to start off this podcast by remembering someone who changed the sport of BMXing forever. With 24 X Game medals, Dave Mirra has been called everything from an icon and superhero to a father, husband, and friend. Dave Mirra was someone who young BMX riders looked up to and aspired to be one day. Suffering from depression and possible CTE, Dave Mirra was finding it hard to cope with every day and tragically took his own life on February 4th, 2016. At the age of 41, Dave Mirra is survived by his wife and two daughters. Though he's no longer with us, his legacy will live on forever and engraved in BMX history. Us as sports fans, we kind of grow to, we have our own teams to root for, our own sports to root for, our own athletes we cheer for, our jerseys that we own. So you kind of grow an attachment to certain athletes. So when you have a sudden tragedy as a young, as an athlete, especially at that young at 41, who pretty much took over the sport of BMX, kind of made it what it is today. And, it was such an icon to all these young kids. It's such a tragedy, man. And it's sad to hear. And our condolences out to the Dave Mirra family and all the fans of BMX riding.
Yeah, definitely no doubt with that. It's funny. I was never really into the X Games and the extreme sports. But even as a casual observer, there are those guys that you just know. You got Tony Hawk in skateboarding. You have Shaun White in snowboarding. And, of course, it was Ryan Nyquist and Dave Mirra that really transformed BMX into, they were pioneers in that sport. And it's a tough loss. And, we just want to say from here at 2Blue and OSU, if you're struggling with depression, if you're having a hard time, seek help. There are people who care. There are people who will listen. And if you see people struggling, talk to them. Help them out. So that's how we wanted to get started today. Go ahead, Morgan. Sorry about that.
I'll just say, amen, bro. That was beautiful, man. That's spot on.
All right. So we're going to get into some college football recruiting now. And this has become quite the monstrosity. We'll just go ahead and use that word. It's because it's surreal where we've come in a decade from when I played. I actually played with an All-American, an Army All-American in high school football, and I saw his recruiting, and he committed during the Army All-American Bowl live on national TV, and he didn't do the hat. None of this was there yet. So, Morgan, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you've seen?
Yeah, me and you talk, off air and throughout the whole process a lot, and I think this is one of the few times you both agree on that it's kind of become, a big thing, whether it's the commit making it all about him or the media blowing it up. For instance, Jamal Marshall made a music video when he committed to USC.
I'm going to stop you right there because he made the wrong choice. Okay. Yeah. He should have gone to Michigan. Just want to let that. Everybody needs to know that he should have gone to Michigan.
That's neither here nor there, right? There's been numerous other ones. Damian Alloway had a video where he picked up, various clues from out in California, and it led him to the big Hollywood sign, but it's spelled UCLA instead. You got Brandon Burton. He had a video of him on a paintball course shooting his enemies that had different teams' jerseys on, and then at the end he captured the flag of UCLA, and that was his big thing. A couple notable ones that stuck out to me a lot. A kid, offensive lineman out of Florida, he wanted to do this stunt where he pulled a 16,000-pound bus, and when he pulled it, it was going to come into view with a logo of his team. Well, his first attempt, the bus driver left the park on, so obviously the bus didn't budge. And then after he got his second attempt done, he complained about how his hip hurt. And then you have the 4-star safety, Anthony Anderson, jumps out of a plane. Who jumps out of a plane?
This video is on YouTube, so if you don't believe us, go check it out. It's ridiculous.
You know what though? I was actually kind of disappointed because in the video you see him, falling through the sky, and there's various targets that had different logos from different teams. So I thought at the end of the video, yeah, he went right by everybody. But yeah, it's like at the end of the video, he just lands in the grass. I was hoping he would at least have a target where he landed on. But no. Who jumps out of an airplane to commit to a team? What happens is,
who thinks that's a good idea? Like, okay, so my shoe doesn't open, there goes my commit. Sorry, I'm dead.
Yeah, forget commitments. There goes your life.
Yeah, you got it.
You have clauses in your contract when you're in the pros, and I'm sure, colleges are like, yeah, you can't do this, you can't do this. I'm pretty sure one of the things is you can't jump out of a plane during the season. I'd be willing to bet that's somewhere in your commitment letter.
If it's not yet, it will be. I can promise you that. Okay.
Oh yeah, after that. Yeah.
All right, Doug. Doug, you and I are Michigan fans. There's been a lot of talk during this recruiting cycle about Jim Harbaugh and everything that Michigan's been doing. You're in Michigan right now. You're in the motherland. So, what have you heard about? You know about the signing of the Stars event they had, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Man.
Recruiting is a spectacle now. Everything is a spectacle. Signing day, every single video that's out there, and then you're signing with the Stars or whatever. I don't necessarily agree with it, but you know what? That's what it is now. So, as opposed to letting all of the Michigan recruits do their spectacle thing, Harbaugh makes his own spectacle, a controlled spectacle, so that these kids aren't out jumping out of frickin' airplanes. It's all about a show now. And you know what? In 2 years, 3 years, we're not going to know half these kids' names anyway. You can commit and you can be great in high school, but you haven't seen a snap in college yet. You don't know what's going to happen. And it's whatever. I enjoy the spectacle to an extent, but at the same time, it's just another reality show. And there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. What Michigan did this year with Harbaugh, him sleeping over at recruits' houses and stuff. Comments about how it's creepy or how it's weird, but you know what? He's just being Jim Harbaugh. He's putting on a show. He's a master of marketing himself. And you can't fault the guy for something like that, because as much as you want to, as much as people want to hate him,
Exactly.
That's the point of it. You get yourself out there. That shows recruits the commitment. And, he was up here, I'm in Grand Rapids. Rockford is 20 minutes north of us. He was up here to sleep in some kid's house. Again, weird, but, that's all anyone talked about for the entire week. Harbaugh's here to, sleep over.
Netflix and chill, baby.
You know.
And I know how you Ohio State fans feel, Morgan. You got to make fun of it, but that's just because you didn't think of it first.
No, it's just that we don't have the Netflix and chill to get the #1 recruiting class in the Big Ten. I'm just saying we don't.
Next year,
Urban
Meyer's gonna have a camp out somewhere.
Next year.
And then they're gonna camp out to play guitar and sing Kumbaya.
Next year. You guys have been saying next year for how many years now?
Well, what else are we supposed to say? Stop it.
How many years?
What are we gonna say? We're gonna sit here and be like, "You guys got us. You guys.
How many years?
You guys are better than us. Next year we're gonna lose too." No, of course we're gonna say next year. Get out of here. I'm cutting you off. You're done.
Just saying, you guys sound like a broken record now.
Here's the thing about so James Franklin, the head coach at Penn State, came out and he was one of the guys who called Jim Harbaugh creepy. James Franklin, as far as the rule that I read is concerned, committed a recruiting violation with recruit Lavert Hill when they put they introduced him. Was it a basketball game or a hockey game, Morgan? Do you remember?
I believe it was the hockey game.
The hockey game, which was a clear violation of. I showed you the rule, and verbatim, it said you cannot put him on the jumbotron during an event.
Does Penn State have any right to call anything creepy?
Exactly. And if I'm a school, if I'm going to name my top 5 of schools that should be straight edged, running down the line perfectly, not calling out other people, I'm starting with USC. Then I'm probably going to go to Colorado, Miami, SMU, and at the top of my list is Penn State right now. What are you doing? And the best part of all, that recruit, Lavert Hill, committed to Michigan. Why is he butthurt? I don't know. I can't imagine why.
Because he visited Penn State.
Exactly. And on topic of Penn State, Quinn Nordine, the top kicker in this country, had originally committed to Penn State with a music video. I watched it today. I'd never seen it before. I watched it today. And after his Netflix and chill with Jim Harbaugh, he is a commit you were talking about, Doug, earlier. He committed to Michigan. So we just took 2 recruits from him, and he's coming out calling Jim Harbaugh creepy. I wonder why.
Well, like I said, it's just people are making fun of it because they didn't think of it first.
Exactly.
And it's going to be common practice next year.
On the topic of the signing of the Stars event, I've actually heard a lot of Michigan fans come out and say, one said, "This is not the Michigan man that I know. This isn't Michigan men to me." And my first thought was, are you insane? Of course it is. Fielding Yost back in the 1920s had the idea of the big house. We built a 100,000-seat stadium in the 1920s, and he wanted 150,000. We do things bigger and better, and we love pissing people off. We are the trolls of college world, and we're arrogant assholes from Ann Arbor. Okay, that's who we are. So the signing of a Stars event, it was totally Michigan. I am totally okay with it. It was great. So
you know what though, Zach? I was gonna put that in here and just rip you guys apart for Ric Flair and Amigos deciding to dab together.
Woo!
So let's go ahead and promote that. Yeah, let's
hey,
promote a dab here.
Best line of the day. Jim Harbaugh to Lou Holtz. Or Lou Holtz said, "What's a dab?" Jim Harbaugh. It's like sneezing into your arm.
But yeah, I was gonna let you have it, and I know you're gonna talk about that later. So I don't want any Ohio State fans to come at me and say, "Well, why do you call them out for having Brady and Jeter and Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, and Migos. So I'll let you kind of put that out there later on.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
And you can't call us out for it because it was awesome. So I stayed at work through lunch to watch that online. So I watched the entire thing.
And who's everyone talking about right now? Everyone's talking about Michigan recruiting. You don't hear anything else.
And Morgan, you sent me the link today of the number one recruit in 2017 saying he wants a Michigan.
Yep. I did.
So it's working.
As a Buckeye fan, it's actually good to see you guys have a good recruiting class, because that means in the future, and this isn't necessarily a bash. But,
here we go.
No. But in the future, our rivalry game will mean something. Maybe we'll have a number 1 and number 2, or
Morgan. We've had good recruiting classes under Brady Hoke. We just never had a coach.
Well, now you have the coach.
Now we have the recruiting class. So yeah, we're gonna be back. You guys enjoy your bragging rights now because it's about to end. I want to touch on a few more recruiting. Some of these big. So there's a kid, Cyrus Quanjo. This is I think last year, I believe. He announced on live TV that he was going to go to Auburn. As soon as that live announcement was over, he faxed in his letter of intent to Alabama. I mean, it's one thing to do that and to fax it into another school. I would lose my mind if a Michigan commit did that and just all of a sudden went to Ohio State 2 minutes later. I would lose my mind.
I'll be happy with that.
And there's one that all of us remember, all of us Ohio State fans and Michigan fans remember. It is Jimmy Clausen announcing at the College Football Hall of Fame after exiting a stretch Hummer limo, committing to Notre Dame at the College Football Hall of Fame. Way to go, Jimmy Clausen.
Yep. You see that worked out well for him, right?
Yeah, what a bum. Hey, this isn't just a player thing either. Coaches have gotten obscene with it. Jim Harbaugh did the sleepovers. We did the signing of the stars. He climbed a tree. But this has been going on for a while. Last year, Rice University sent a recruiting letter to the quarterback target, JT Granado, sent it to his cat. They sent a recruiting letter to his cat. All right, what?
I don't know what part of that makes sense.
The kid committed. That's the weirdest part. He's on a roster now at Rice. Then we had Nick Saban. Of course, I had to give a Nick Saban dropout today. Everyone's talking about creepy. So he sent 105 recruiting letters to a running back recruit, Alvin Kamara, which isn't a big deal, right? 105 letters, you expect that for a top recruit. He did it in a single day. And all of them were written differently. None of them were the same, identical. None of them. 105. You want to talk about creepy stalker-ish? There you go,
ex-girlfriend stalker,
right? How about Mark Rick sending out hand-drawn portraits of recruits with half and half jerseys saying "You look good in black and red"?
I do remember that. I do remember that one.
That's not creepy. I get that in the mail. I'm like, oh my gosh. Do you have one of my hair pics, hanging up on a wall? Do you have some glasses hanging? What are you doing? Hey, the Nick Saban thing worked though. He committed and then he ended up getting suspended multiple times and transferring anyways.
Yeah. See, those letters worked out great for Saban.
Oh, I tell you what, man. Recruiting. It's become crazy. But hey, Michigan had a great recruiting class. I know OSU did as well. But Morgan, you said something to me during the introduction episode saying we were going to disagree with everything ESPN says about the SEC, right? You remember that?
Oh, yes.
And I said I had something for it. So ESPN was the only recruiting site to not have Alabama number 1. All right. And I know, right? It's crazy. And on the comment section, they went crazy. And one person even went, "This is biased against the SEC. ESPN always hating on the SEC. I didn't. I didn't even know. I didn't either. I didn't respond to it. How do you?
Yeah, but look at number 2, 3, and 4, and then compare number 2, 3, and 4 to 24/7 Sports and Marbles.com. They had
every recruiting.
Wasn't it Bama, LSU, and Ole Miss was number 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah.
And where was Ole Miss and Rivals.com and 24/7 Sports?
Well, I know Rivals had LSU number 6 or something, like 6th or 7th.
Yep.
It's all of them are different. They all recruit. Their rankings of recruits are different. Their stars are different for certain recruits. So we definitely got cut off there. We apologize for that. Episode 1, we are having difficulties. Good start. All right, we're just gonna move on from the recruiting section. I think we beat that horse to death. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I agree.
We dug in deep.
Yeah, we go on and on about it.
So last night we all watched the Super Bowl. It was Peyton Manning gets win number 200. Peyton Manning gets Super Bowl. We assume Peyton Manning's riding off in the sunset. Peyton Manning is not the topic of discussion for this Super Bowl. There's no way. What do you guys think was the biggest takeaway from the Super Bowl? Go ahead, Doug. Let's get Doug. Doug on the line.
I watched it. I enjoyed it. I'm glad Peyton got his championship and goes out. Hopefully. I don't want him to come back. I mean, we've all seen what happens when someone tries to push it one more year and they just end up not ruining their legacy, but damaging it. I mean, look at Brett Favre coming back a couple times and just like what? It doesn't make sense.
Well, Brett Favre almost, in fair point to Brett Favre, he almost got back there with Minnesota. I think that against New Orleans, he got hurt pretty good.
But look at what everything that happened in that time when he was with the Jets and the scandals, and he came back and he wasn't the same old gunslinger. And with Peyton, I wanted him to go out on top, and I think he's going to retire. He'll end up in Tennessee coaching quarterbacks or something like that, and that's great for him. And I'm glad they pulled it off. And Denver's defense definitely deserved to be number one. And one of the things that one of the reasons that I was picking Denver is I think not every team, but something like some large percentage of teams that win the first game during AFC NFC Championship Week ends up winning the Super Bowl. And so I just was like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to ride with it. And I'm glad they won. I'm glad Peyton's a champion again. He's an amazing quarterback, and I'm going to miss seeing the Sheriff screaming out Omaha every 5 seconds.
Definitely. No, you're not alone there. Morgan, you and I were talking during the game. You followed it very closely, stat-wise. Mm-hmm. You were on top of everything. What do you got for us, man?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest thing is the third down conversion, man. That was just ridiculous, man. It just both teams just couldn't convert a third down. I believe it was Carolina's first third down came at the 5:48 mark in the first quarter. I mean, we both talked too about how Cam Newton looked and how even before the game he looked nervous. Like he just did not look like he was in the game. I mean, he finished off going 18 for 41 for 265 yards.
If you go back and you watch the national anthem, they showed Cam Newton's face and then they panned to Peyton Manning, and you could guess who was going to win just from that view alone.
And you look at the first time Cam's on the field and they show him and he's praying, like eyes to the sky, and he just looked like you look before a big game. Like I have expected him to pull Any Given Sunday and throw up on the sideline
Right.
before he ran out there.
He really did, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Morgan. I'm cutting you off.
No, I mean, he just both of Von Miller strip sacks on Newton. Like he just even when Cam Newton had time to throw the ball. I mean, and I'm a huge Buckeye fan, but he looked like Cardell Jones out there throwing rockets over his wideouts into the third row of seats. Man, it was like he was just throwing rockets. There was no, he didn't know who he was throwing to. I mean, he looked nervous. He looked shaky. I mean, he had he had the one interception, and the two fumbles, and that second fumble, man. Why did he jump backwards? I don't.
That's what I was gonna bring that up. Like, how do you not, in the biggest game of your careers so far, we'll say, how do you not go down for that ball? How do you not cover that up? Like, he didn't even attempt. He got out of the way. Like, you know what? Screw it. Someone else will get it. And that's, I don't know. That's just, if the ball's on the ground, you get on the ball. I don't care what position you are. I don't care if you're going to break something. You're keeping your team in the game by going down for it. So
that's your next phase of the NFL, folks. Jumping back from a fumble. Go ahead. I gotta let you go. I gotta let you keep going because I'm gonna get into this in a minute.
Yeah,
it's gonna get heated.
Some of my notable things that I kind of jotted down at the end of the first half was 4 first downs for Denver total. I mean, Denver finished with, I believe it was 194 yards, 194 total yards for the winning team. That was, I mean, I don't know if the defenses were that good or if the offenses just were that bad for that game. I mean, my in-law, he was snoozing by the third quarter. I mean, there was nothing exciting about it, man. I mean, if you love a defensive football and if you were a defensive player, then you love that game.
Or if you were a Broncos fan.
Yeah, right, or you're a Broncos fan. I mean, you loved watching Von Miller. I mean, he manhandled anyone who tried to block him. It was just he was on a mission, man. The whole defense was on a mission.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
After this playoff run, do you think the combination of DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller is one of the top 2 combos at defensive end in the history of the game?
Oh, absolutely, man. You can't double team one side or the other side, man. Especially in this day and age when the game is so geared towards offensive play and you got 2 top-notch players, 2 Pro Bowl caliber players on each end. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, they completely shut down Carolina's offense. Newton had a couple nice throws down to, downtown Philly Brown from Ohio State.
When he actually had time to throw the ball.
Yeah, which was, very, very rarely. But it was just, I don't know, man. It was just, I don't remember except for the, 2000 Ravens, the defense that looked that dominant. Maybe the Seahawks too in that game, but I mean, just through the whole Super Bowl run, they went up against Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, and then Cam Newton. Those 3 quarterbacks combined for 1 touchdown. I believe it was 3 or 4 interceptions. It was just, and like 14 sacks. I mean,
for our listeners out there, the teams he just named were ranked 4th, 3rd, and 1st in total offense. That's who they had to get through. Number 1 defense solidified.
Well, defense wins championships. We know that.
10-2 in Super Bowls now. Number 1 defense in Super Bowls are 10-2 now. It's a fact. It's a fact. Well, go ahead.
One of the highlights of the Carolina side of the Super Bowl for me, though, was Funches of Funches getting a few catches in there.
Did you see him Moss Roby?
Oh,
Michigan
yeah.
man, Moss the Ohio State guy?
Well, I don't know if you're watching Roby at Ohio State, and you know me, the diehard Buckeye fan. I watched him against the Wisconsin Badgers get tore apart by Aberderis for over 200 yards.
Yeah,
so,
Aberderis was the white knight though. I tell you what.
He was.
Sick.
It was sick. So you mentioned the third downs. Carolina was 3 for 15 in the game. Denver was 1 for 14. We had a combined 4 for 29 third downs in that game. That's a 12%. In a Super Bowl, they completed 12% of third downs combined.
And had 194 total yards and still won the game.
Well, that's Denver. Yeah, they had 194.
Denver, yeah.
Lowest offensive total for a winning team ever in Super Bowl.
And Peyton Manning's QBR was 9.9, the lowest ever as well.
Yeah. 141 yards, no touchdowns. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what do you guys think of the halftime show?
Still won. The halftime show?
Yeah, what do you think
I love Coldplay. I'm sorry.
Do you really?
I've always loved Coldplay, man. I'm not ashamed of myself.
Oh gosh.
I'm a little. I think my favorite part though is at the end where you have Beyonce on one side, Bruno Mars on the other, and then the lead singer of Coldplay in the middle. And Beyonce and Bruno are standing straight up, all 5'2" that they are, and the guy in the middle is like crouched down, like trying to get in the camera because if he stands up, it's like, oh crap, my head's cut off.
You know, I thought it was an all right halftime show. Me personally, I think you could have Bruno Mars in it every year just by themselves and it'd be fine.
He was the best halftime show ever. When he was by himself, he was the best.
Oh yeah.
In the Dancing Sharks.
You need to leave right now. I'm kicking you out. That's the worst.
I didn't think you had to listen to it. You just had to look. Enjoy.
Oh, I get where you're coming from now. Okay. Yeah, Bruno Mars is not better to look at than Katy Perry, but I'm talking about.
I didn't know. Right. Well, I didn't know if you guys seen Beyonce about fall or down. She was walking up.
Yep.
She jumped this, and
she caught it pretty good.
She did a little crouch. Yeah. Oh, dude. She
tried to play it up.
Recovered from that.
Twitter went crazy though. We knew it.
Of course. Here's the thing with the halftime show when Beyonce came out. Something that was pointed out to me when I was at the bar, like, why were none of those dancers white girls? Just saying.
You're not wrong. Their whole outfit, their photo after the game, that whole thing was just. I don't want to get into. I don't want to get into that. With my next topic of conversation, it's gonna set me up for failure. So I'm not gonna do that. Okay. Overall, guys, I thought that the Super Bowl was incredibly boring, from the game to halftime to the commercials.
Yeah, commercials were rough this year.
Oh man, they tried too hard. It was bad.
Well, the puppy monkey baby.
We were just talking about that.
The very first thing you're gonna roll out for the Super Bowl that's like a big commercial is the puppy monkey baby.
That was.
I had nightmares last night.
Oh my gosh!
Like it's not even right, and it doesn't. I don't even know what happened. Like I just kind of stared at the TV, and everyone was quiet in the bar. Like, what did we just see?
I will not be drinking Mountain Dew Kickstart because of that commercial alone. You will not get a dollar.
Every time I see Kickstart, I'm going to think of a dog licking the can and be like, okay, well,
I'm done. I'm done. I'm through. Quit.
I'll spend the $4.29 on a Red Bull instead. All right. The Doritos one was good, though. So, well, the baby tried to launch himself out of the pregnant woman.
I just told you about that one. Yeah.
All right, so I let you guys go first on the Super Bowl topic because I have a rant. Okay, I set it up yesterday in our introduction episode. If you haven't heard it, go listen to that first. I'm not a Cam Newton fan. I have no problems hiding it. It's not because he's a black quarterback. Okay, he's not the first to be a black quarterback. I thought he was very arrogant to stand up and try to claim that's because he's a black quarterback that we don't like him. You're not a pioneer there. You're not the first to be outspoken. You're not the first to be flamboyant, to celebrate. And I don't care about your dabs. I don't care about your Superman, your first downs, you're giving the balls to the kids after touchdowns. I don't care. Because I don't care how you act when you win. It's easy to act like that. It's easy to be like that. The Cam Newton I knew from his, what were they, 7-9 and 6-10 seasons, was a crybaby, a pouter. He was very anti-teammate, and I'm not for that. So that's why I don't like him. And I thought he got himself a very good PR guy this year. And even better was easy to win. Now Cam Newton, I had been waiting. I won't lie. I've been waiting for him to do this again. And last night he did it. Last night he threw temper tantrums on the field. He was sulking by himself. And then that post-game interview, my gosh, could you be more unprofessional? Now, a lot of people will come back and say, he's a competitor. He's so competitive that he wanted to win, the biggest loss of his career. If he's such a competitor, he dives on that football that he fumbles when you're down by 6 points. The game is on the line. You fumble and you don't even go down for it, and you're going to sit there and tell me that he's a competitor? Do not tell me that, okay? A competitor gets on that football, or at least tries. He did not. He was pouting. He does not handle losing well. And I can understand that because I hate losing. I hate losing more than I like winning. You guys know I coach high school football. I hate losing. I'm a competitor too. But you're getting paid $118 million to be the face of a franchise, and people are talking about you to be the face of the NFL. If you want to see the difference between a crybaby child and a professional at the podium after a bad loss, go back to Tom Brady's AFC title game interview and then go watch Cam Newton's. Both are on YouTube. Go ahead and check them out. See the difference. Now, Brady's been doing this for a while, and if Cam matures and grows up, I will hop off this bandwagon because he's an incredible football player. I want to be able to enjoy watching him play football, but I just can't because he's a baby when they lose. He's not a good teammate when they lose, and it drives me insane. And I was glad that he lost that game, and I was glad that he showed his true colors for the entire. And this morning, I went crazy. This morning, guys, I listened to sports radio in the morning, okay, and everybody was coddling him. It wasn't until this afternoon when I listened to Mike Wilbon and Stephen A. Smith, two African-American journalists, who ripped into him. Okay? Everybody else was coddling him. He's going to be your face, and you're going to coddle him. You can't do that. If Tom Brady did this, if Peyton Manning did this, if Aaron Rodgers did this, you would tear them apart. Don't be afraid because Cam Newton stood at a podium and said, you don't like me because I'm a black quarterback. That's not why. There are people who do. They're called racist, and they're idiots. Don't worry about them. The rest of us want to see you be a great teammate. You're just not there yet. Grow up. Be professional. That's what I got.
Well, I agree with you 100%. And I don't like Cam Newton for the same reasons. He's always been a crybaby to me. But look at the weapons he didn't have this year, and he won. At the beginning of the season, who's your number one wide receiver?
Ted Ginn.
Anyone?
Well, the number one was who's
Kelvin
the fourth?
Benjamin.
Kelvin Benjamin. He got hurt, but he was hurt. So Ted Ginn came in as the number one.
When was Kelvin Benjamin ever a real number one receiver?
And they drafted him. He was a first-round draft pick.
Okay, there's lots of first-round draft picks, but Kelvin Benjamin's not a household name. I'm not going out and buying a Kelvin Benjamin jersey. And Morgan already probably went out and bought a Ted Ginn jersey. So,
No.
And Corey Brown.
These aren't weapons that people know. Like, the Panthers line up, and you're like, oh, wait, who's their receiver? Oh, okay, what has he done? They didn't have weapons, and they still won. They had a good defense. They had a solid offense. Cam is an amazing athlete, an amazing quarterback, but he is a baby.
He is.
And I've never really liked him. I like watching him. One, because he's great, and two, because I want to see the meltdown after he loses.
Exactly, yeah. I want to be able to enjoy his greatness as an athlete and as a quarterback, but I just can't right now. Not until he matures.
Well, look at the game against the Seahawks. He went up to the crowd and stole a banner from a family of Seahawks fans.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah. They were asked not to bring it, though.
They what?
They were asked not to bring that banner. In all fairness, Cam Newton, they can run their.
You're asked not to, but there's no rule against it. It's not illegal. They let it in there. It was on display. Nobody stopped him. So he decides he's going to go take it from him. I mean, you just won the game. You know what? Take that football that you hand to your Carolina fan and hand it to that Seahawks fan. What's that going to do? He might still be a Seahawks fan, but he's going to respect Cam Newton. He's going to think he's like the greatest, person in the world because he's showed some dignity and some class, even though he doesn't like that team.
What do you got, Morgan?
I'm going to take a different approach, man. I think the game was so boring that we might be picking up a lot of little things and kind of making it a big thing. How Cam Newton acted on the sideline. I see a lot of stuff about Josh Norman crying.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
no issue with that.
Yeah, I just and I'll tell you my biggest thing that I don't like is post-game interviews right after the clock hits zero. Because once you interview a player after the clock hits zero, whether it's the winning team or the losing team, what do you expect for them to say? I mean, you will get those interviews that, a player just doesn't want to do it. Now, from my understanding, while Cam Newton was doing that interview, so many feet away from him was Broncos players doing an interview. I believe it was Chris Harris Jr. doing an interview and was pretty much talking about how they got to Newton and he couldn't do anything and this, that, and a third. Me personally, I wouldn't want to do an interview right after I just got beat the way that I did with the other team there, pretty much talking crap.
Talking crap. Like they were dabbing in his face. They were giving it back to him. He got what he did to people all year long, and he couldn't take it.
You're right.
That was the verbal dab from Chris Harris to Cam Newton. He knew Cam Newton was on the other side. It's a verbal dab.
I understand losing a game and feeling bad and crying and getting upset, but you're a professional. You're paid. You have PR guys. You do interviews all the time. Act like a freaking professional.
And he's not just a professional. He's the face of the franchise, and people are calling him the face of the NFL. You're getting paid $118 million. Answer the – you don't got to be happy. I don't need to see a big old cheesy smile, but don't just get up and leave. Handle your responsibilities. Be a professional.
I do agree with the guys because I don't know if you guys seen the Josh Norman interview when he got up and talked, and he was honest. He's like, I really don't want to talk to you guys, but I have to.
Yeah.
So he sat there and took questions. So I guess I'm on both sides. I can see both sides of the argument. I mean, I can see where Cam Newton is the face of the franchise, is the face of the NFL. He gets paid millions and millions of dollars. Go up there for how many minutes you had to go up there and talk, answer some questions. But on the other side, when you have a reporter ask him, put his emotions into words and how does he feel? How do you think he feels? He feels like crap. He just lost the Super Bowl. He could not do nothing. I don't like when they ask dumb questions. I'm like, you already know the answer that you're going to get. What are you trying to get from him when you ask him, Cam Newton, put into words how you feel? How do you think he feels? I can tell you how Cam Newton feels. He feels like crap. So why ask him a dumb question? That's what drives me crazy.
There's a reason why they asked. It's the same reason why I would have asked.
To get that emotion out of him.
They want to see the emotion and to get him to trip up and to see if he's matured and if he's a professional. There's trolls. There's trolls in the media too. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's not just on Facebook and on podcasts.
Right. Which he handled poorly. He did handle it poorly, and I will give you that. But I do have some empathy towards him because I wouldn't want to get asked dumb questions after I just lost the biggest game. When you ask me how I feel or put into words how I feel, I just don't like questions like that.
If the Panthers had won and they asked Peyton that same question, what response are you going to get?
Peyton doesn't get up and leave.
You're going to get a professional, guy that's been there many times response. He's not going to get up and walk off. He's going to talk about how Carolina shut him down and this and that. He's not going to get up and walk out. He's going to be a professional. And I would much rather him handle it like a professional because you know what? It's not his last Super Bowl. He's going to go to another. I mean, he is an amazing athlete, an amazing quarterback. That team is going to succeed again.
And technical difficulties continue here on episode 1. We'll get this all figured out. We'll get there. Again, we hit the Super Bowl pretty hard. We're going to jump right into Golden State, the Warriors, the amazing run they're on. Morgan, what do you think about what they're doing right now?
Oh man, I can't put into words what Steph Curry's doing. He's just an unbelievable player. I watched a game a couple nights ago where he had 25 points in the first quarter alone. They set him most of the second quarter, and then I think he ended the game with like 45 points. They're just unbelievable, man. I mean, they beat my Cavaliers, by 30. They beat the Spurs by 30. They're a force to be reckoned with, man. They're just I don't know how you defend against them. Like I said, they're 46-4 as of right now. They're on pace to break the 96 Bulls record.
Yeah, they were 45-5 at this point.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I compared the two. Just a couple little notes here. Through the first 50 games, the Bulls were 45-5. The Warriors are 46-4. The Bulls average 104.4 points, and the Golden State is averaging 115.4 points. 30-point wins through the first 50 games. The Bulls had 0. Golden State has 5. 5 30-point wins in the first 50 games. And then the last one that I jotted down, through the first 50 games, the Bulls only had a win streak of 5, and the Warriors started out with that amazing 24-0 record. So right now, the one thing that the Bulls had the edge over these Warriors, the Bulls were, I believe they finished that season 3rd in points per game allowed with 92.9 points per game. So obviously the Bulls defense is better. Golden State is right now 19th at 102.8 points per game. So the Bulls defense definitely was a lot more stingier than what the Warriors were. But I mean, fans show up early just to see Steph Curry do a warm up. I mean, you got young kids, imitating his warm up. They're at home in their driveway trying to imitate it. They go there early to try to imitate him. It's just something that I'm soaking in as a sports fan, as an NBA fan. Granted, I'm a huge Cavaliers fan. Just watching the Warriors play is it's must see TV. It's like back in the day when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire would come off the bat. I mean, you stop to watch them play. You stop to watch Steph Curry shoot and you watch him handle the ball. It's just amazing.
Let me ask you, as a Cavs fan, you guys are projected to come out of the East. They're projected to come out of the West. Can you guys win a 7-game series against Golden State Warriors?
If our big three click, I believe we can. With Kyrie Irving coming back healthy, of course, we didn't have Irving or Love last season. We was banking on Dellavedova, who became a household name for a few weeks there. But I think this year would be a little bit different. I won't take too much away from the regular season matchups. Like I said, they smoked us by 30, and then they beat a second game, but that was a lot closer. A 7-game series. If the Cavs play the way the Cavs can play, with definitely getting Love in the game a lot more, kind of running the offense through Love, and then Kyrie Irving kind of doing what he does. I think he's one that has some of the best handles in the game. I think they can make it close. Can they win it? I don't know. I like to say yeah, but the Warriors are just on a whole nother level.
Here's an interesting stat that I found. Steph Curry and Thompson combined, they've made 389 3-pointers. That's more than 8 teams combined in the NBA. Those two alone, they're killing it. They've, as a team, they have over 600 3-pointers, 645 total 3-pointers. Tops in the league. One of the best shooting teams around. Steph Curry's hitting 50% from the field, 45 from 3. The idiots out there who think they can't compete for the 96 Bulls record, you need to stop. You need to stop. They can. They're on pace to. This very well could happen. All you Jordan fanboys out there, Curry's stats this year? Yeah. Hey, I'm getting it. Jordan fanboys out there. Curry's stats are comparable to Jordan's during the 96 season. Up and down, he's going to have more assists. He's on pace to be around the points per game. Rebounds, not so much, but Jordan was what, 6'7"? 6'6". Curry's what, 6'3", 6'2"? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
So stop with this. Stop with this nonsense. They can't do it. They can. The 96 Bulls are not untouchable in the history of the sport. Okay? This team might do it, and if they do, I'm going to enjoy watching. I'm enjoying every minute of this. Okay? I'm just sitting back and hey, guess who the last team to beat them was? They're on a 9-game winning streak right now. Who was the last team to beat them? That would be Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball.
I will admit that I was a Bulls fan growing up, 100%. My room, I'm sure Zach's in '96 was filled with Michigan stuff. Mine was filled with Chicago Bulls stuff.
You're a traitor.
I still got my 6'6" Gatorade Michael Jordan cutout sitting in my room back in my parents' house. I love the Bulls, and I honestly stopped watching after Jordan retired the first time. So, I have kept track of Steph Curry because, he's doing amazing things. And you look back at 96, who did everyone want to be? They wanted to be Michael Jordan. Everyone wanted to dunk and, play like him. Now everyone wants to shoot a whole new game. So.
Yeah, we're not gonna. We won't.
Basketball, yay!
Yeah, I know. Doug is not our basketball insider. We're not gonna beat this one to death like we did the Super Bowl in college football recruiting. But they're on an amazing run. You have to take notice. And again, if you're out there saying they can't beat this record, you're wrong. You're flat out wrong. They're destroying teams.
How many Golden State Warriors fans did you know before last year?
Dude, I forgot they had a team. Okay.
It's whole bandwagons.
Yeah.
It is. It's just amazing to watch them. Like I said, I knew zero fans before they got on this hot streak. Even before they fired Mark Jackson, even though it was the same team, they fired the coach and hired a new coach, and I don't know what happened to him, but I knew zero Golden State fans like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
All I know is my favorite Golden State Warrior, Chris Mullin.
Who?
Chris Mullin.
I thought he was going to say Chris Webber.
He might be a little too young, Zach. I don't know.
Timeout Webber. I thought was where you're going.
I mean,
Do they win it all?
Remember Chris?
Let's
You remember Chris Mullen, right?
Chris Mullen?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mullen was awesome haircut.
I can't handle you two right now.
His tall haircut.
Do they win it all? Yes or no?
No, but he was my favorite Golden State
No, I'm talking about the Warriors right
He
now.
was pretty much the only
I'm
one.
talking about the Warriors. What are you doing? Do the Warriors win it all
What, last year?
right now? This year?
Can they?
Will they?
Oh, I didn't understand you.
Make a prediction.
Will they?
Yeah.
I don't, dude, seriously, the amount of basketball I watch is, like, negligent. It's like, oh, hey, look, highlight. Oh, TV.
All right, Cavs fanboy. What do you think?
No, I'm
You're going for the
stick with my
Cavs.
Cavs. Yep, I'm gonna stick with my Cavs for the revenge.
He won't pick the Broncos out of the heart pick, but he'll pick the Cavs. Okay, good shit.
Hey, Gardner. Hey, Morgan, I got a question for you.
Go ahead, bro.
Who is a better player? Who is the better basketball player? LeBron James or Steph Curry?
Right now, I'll be honest. I'll go with Steph Curry.
Well, of course he would say that. Do we not?
Wow.
Do we not forget that he was a LeBron James hater when LeBron James left Cleveland for Miami?
Well, yeah, but now he's back. I mean, he might as well just. Never mind. I won't go there.
I will say that, and I've had this talk with my brother-in-law, who's a huge basketball fan. He's a huge LeBron James fan. Followed him in Cleveland, followed him in Miami, now back in Cleveland. So he's just a pure LeBron James fan, and he even admitted he does not look like the same player that he did 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. He does not look like the same player.
He's older.
He is. I mean,
happens.
yeah. I mean, he had to slim down a lot. I mean, he played. I mean, every season he's been in the league, he's gone deep in the playoffs. So he's playing, well into 100 games every season. So I would say Steph Curry right now. He's just the best pure shooter. He will go down as the best pure shooter in all of the NBA ever.
Reggie Miller.
Ray Allen.
No,
Jesus Shuttlesworth. Come on, man.
Nothing.
Jesus
No,
Shuttlesworth.
No.
Bro, he got
Gary
game.
Payton.
Whatever. Gary's like
You say
fifth
Gary
on the
Payton?
list. Who's
Yeah.
this?
The glove. You can't leave out the glove.
The glove. All right, let's end that discussion before we just start losing our minds. We got our last major segment is going to be about professional all-star games.
Yes.
Morgan, you're very opinionated about this. What do you got, man?
I don't like all-star games. They used to be one of the best, must-watch TV in sports. They were the you base your plans around watching the home run derby or watching. What I'm going to get into the most is the NBA All-Star Weekend. This is just the most ridiculous lineup I've ever seen in my life. They came out the other day with who's starring in the three-point competition and skills competition. Now, the skills competition in the NBA, you mostly figure point guards and shooting guards. Let me tell you some of the people in a skills competition. 6'11" DeMarcus Cousins, 6'7" Draymond Green, 6'10" Anthony Davis, 6'11" Karl Anthony Towns. Why are you putting 6'10", 6'11" players in a skills competition against 6'1" point guards and 6'4" shooting guards?
I can
Who
answer
can
that
obviously
question
handle
with
the
one
ball.
word. One word
Go
answer.
ahead.
Humor.
Yeah, exactly. It's a joke. The 3-point competition, you have Steph Curry, James Harden, Klay Thompson, Chris Middleton, Kyle Lowry, JJ Redick, Chris Bosh, Why? I don't know. And Devin Booker. Okay, Devin Booker has a field goal percentage ranked number 13. And field goals made in all the NBA, he's ranked 89th. 89th. Chris Bosh, 49th, ranked 49th in all of NBA in field goal percentage. He's ranked 37 in field goals made. You know who's ranked ahead of Chris Bosh in field goals made? Kobe Bryant. Put in Kobe Bryant in a three-point contest, would you? Who wants to? Come on. This is an absolute joke. I mean, you might as well give it to Steph Curry anyways because no one's going to beat him. I mean, it'll
Maybe
be Steph
Klay
and Klay Thompson in the final two.
Yeah, Klay
Yeah,
Thompson.
so
Although he was horrendous last year. So.
yeah, well, granted, JJ Redick is first
Maybe.
in field goal percentage in the NBA as of right now, and seventh in field goals made. But the top two are Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
JJ Redick is like that not dark horse. Like he can win because he's a good shooter. So
yeah, I mean, you might as well put in Doug McDermott with him. And the dunk contest, man, the dunk contest. Let me tell you the lineup: Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, Andre Drummond, and Will Barton. Who the hell is Will Barton? And why is he in a three-point contest? Why don't I mean, you got players like LeBron James, Westbrook, John Wall, Damian Lillard, Kevin Durant, Andrew Wiggins, or Jamari Parker. Why are they not in a three-point contest? Here was my, I guess, fix for the three-point contest. Don't have NBA players do it. When you got a guy named Will Barton in your three-point or your slam dunk competition, go out there, go in the street, and find guys who dunk for a living. There's a guy named Jordan Kilganon, spelled Kilganon. If you ever get a chance, YouTube this guy. He has the most unreal dunks I've ever seen. Ever. They need to take these guys off the streets and put them in a dunk contest because they will do dunks that you couldn't even think is even imaginable. I mean, you take those guys and put those in a dunk contest, I will watch it. I'm not gonna watch a guy named Will Barton try and slam a ball. All right.
I bet you
Granted, you know what?
Will Barton's gonna win.
He's gonna win the slam dunk contest, and we're gonna come back here. We're gonna rub it in Morgan's face.
I will watch, but I would also watch a free throw competition between Andre Drummond and Shaquille O'Neal.
Why wouldn't you watch that? That'd be the greatest thing on television.
But it just amazes me, man. It's just, I mean, the skill. But aside from humor in the skills competition, why don't you have Rajon Rondo, who's leading the league in assists?
Maybe he turned it down.
Who's second?
Turn stuff down though.
And John Wall third, Ricky Rubio fifth. I mean, it's a joke. Listen, when the first slam dunk competition came out in '76, it was Dr. J. That was the Dr. J era. Now, of course, we all don't know that because we weren't even alive yet. But the NBA reintroduced the slam dunk contest in '84. And from '84 to '90, let me tell you who all won: Larry Nance, Dominique Wilkins, Spud Webb, MJ, and that second one in '88 was MJ over Dominique Wilkins. It might have been the best ever. Kenny Walker, Dominique Wilkins. That was when slam dunk was probably one of the best things on TV. Now you have, of course, Kobe Bryant went and did it. Vince Carter went and did it.
Vince Carter.
But nowadays, that was the most unreal dunks. But I don't understand why LeBron James doesn't do it. Why Russell Westbrook doesn't do it. Why John Wall doesn't go back and do it. I mean,
they've been there before. It's the same thing as the Pro Bowl. Too many guys have been there so many times. It becomes nothing to them.
That's the thing. Like, when the NBA, they can say no to the All-Star game, right? The players can say no. Or to the competitions. In the Pro Bowl, all of the Patriots said no to playing this year?
Yep.
And with Major League Baseball, they can all say no to that as well if they don't want to play. You know what the NHL does?
They suspend you for a game.
No. What's that?
They suspend you for one game after the NHL All-Star game. Of course I know.
Yep. If
For hockey
you
fans.
say that you don't want to play, they suspend you. If you're injured and can't play, you're still suspended for one game.
They don't mess around.
That's why, personally, the NHL All-Star Game is the best one. The skills competition, I remember watching, big names like Chara do the flat shot competition, nailing flat shots over 100 miles an hour. You got, big names like Alex Ovechkin in there. And he's injured this year. And he was selected for the All-Star Game and got fined. And then you have 100% fan vote. You get random people who, the guy this year, he plays like 10 to 15 minutes a game, which is nothing.
He got dropped to the AHL after this. The NHL tried to keep him out. He got dropped to the AHL, and they finally let him back in, and he wins the MVP.
Wins the MVP. That is why hockey is the greatest sport. And Morgan and I put that video on Facebook of the greatest injuries because every man should like hockey. Everyone. I mean, if you have a weapon in your hand and knives on your feet, like, that's awesome. But, with All-Star games, the NHL All-Star weekend is always entertaining, no matter what. I mean, the storyline this year with this guy coming out of nowhere, coming from, getting sent down and coming back up and winning the MVP. You've got the skills competitions where you've got amazing, big name players that compete because they can't turn it down. They get in trouble if they turn it down. Where in the NBA and in Major League Baseball and in the NFL, you can be, a prima donna and be like, no, I don't want to do this. And in the NHL, it doesn't really mean anything, but it's still, they do it. They compete because that's what you're there for. You're in a sport as a professional athlete. You are there to compete no matter what. And, hockey does it right. Like every year, hockey does it right with their all-star matchups, and no other major sport is getting it right. I mean, the Pro Bowl, I didn't even know the Pro Bowl was on. Like, I completely forgot and was doing something else. NBA, I don't know what was the guy's name that's going to win the slam dunk competition?
Will Barton.
Yeah, Will Barton. He's going to win it. I don't know who that is. You could get one of your guys off the street to compete because people would know just as much about that guy as they would about Will Barton. And, the Pro Bowl, a joke, and Major League Baseball, home run derby, awesome. Loved watching it as a kid. Now it's like, oh, wait, who's this guy? Like, how many home runs does he have? Like, why are we even watching this shit? This stuff anymore. Sorry. But hockey always does it right. Every year. So, that's my take on that one. So
I'm going to end this segment very simply. And this is for all of you out there who keep bashing the Pro Bowl, NBA All-Star Game, the challenges, MLB All-Star Games, their home run derbies. Guess what? Those games, they're not for you. Every other game, every regular season game, every playoff game, every championship game is for you, the fans. This is those guys' time to shine. Their chance for a break. Their chance to get recognized. You think Will Barton's pissed off that he's in the slam dunk? It's probably the highlight of his career. And we're bashing this? It's not for you. It's not for you. No, it's not. All-Star games, this is their accomplishment. This is their accomplishment. This is their chance to have their moment. It's not for you.
Then put all stars in the game. Don't put Will Barton, all 5'11", 170 pound off the bench for,
he's probably like 6'7".
I don't even know.
He's talking about Rudy.
It is supposed to be filled with stars and spectacles, and it's supposed to be awesome. You don't put random, no-name people in games.
Just because you don't know them does not mean they're random, no-name people. This is their moment. You guys are destroying him. I hope he wins.
People the option of saying no. Like the NHL does not give you the option of saying no. The NFL, all of the Patriots are like, no, we're not playing. You know what? Tom Brady's not hurt. Gronk's not hurt. The kicker said no. He's a kicker. He's not even a real football player. Get on the field, you baby.
Just stop. You're done. This isn't for you guys. It's not for you. No, we're done with this conversation.
It's All-Star Weekend. Put stars in an All-Star festivities, would you?
Exactly. All-Stars.
You're crushing these guys on some of them, their only accomplishment they'll ever have. Congratulations. I hope you feel bad. You guys are so little right now.
They are professional players making millions of dollars. I don't feel bad.
You guys are you're so little.
Right? Will Burton is not a star.
He's already forgotten his name. Hashtag Will Barton.
Will Burton.
Zach, you find me a Barton jersey and tell me he's a star, because I guarantee they don't even make one yet.
I'm making them now, and he's going to win, and we're rocking them out, all three of us.
Why don't we?
That'll be our new background. Will Barton jerseys.
I think we should put out to the fans, or not fans, but our listeners.
We don't have fans. This is episode 1. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Right. Out there, maybe their ideas of how to make, for instance, the Pro Bowl better. Or for instance, how would you make the NBA All-Star Weekend better? How would you make the MLB All-Star Weekend better?
And if you have ideas, go ahead and hit us up on Facebook, 2BlueandOSU. Tweet at us at 2BlueandOSU. Here's how you can make it better. Just enjoy watching them. Stop complaining, you freaking babies. You Cam Newtons.
They make millions of dollars. The
best day of some of these guys' lives, and you're destroying them.
No.
I don't care. He's gonna be the champion. I'm gonna freaking celebrate. Get it. All right. So you want to thank you guys.
If he wins,
go ahead.
Oh, if he wins, I will send a personal apology to him on our next podcast or after the All-Star Weekend.
You should feel bad. So
I will write you an apology letter.
I want to thank you guys for listening to our first episode. You guys are our ground floor listeners, our day one listeners, and we appreciate it. Episode took a little longer than we expected. We'll try to keep them shorter from now on, but we get passionate and we get talking. Honestly, we don't care. It's awesome. We're having a good time. We hope you guys.
We're not gonna discuss why we love sports.
Oh, no, that's next. That's our next segment. We're gonna finish up with that. Oh. Can I finish? He's cutting me off. No. That's my job. It's my job to cut you guys off. That's my responsibility. So we're gonna finish.
That's why you get paid the big bucks.
That's right. All $0. We're gonna go ahead and finish with a segment we call "Why We Love Sports." We talk about something that makes us feel good about sports and shows that it's not just about prima donnas and money and everything. Let's go ahead, Morgan. Go ahead and let's get your "Why I Love Sports."
Yeah, my why I love sports is Will Barton in the 3-point contest or the slam dunk contest. No, okay, I'm kidding.
I'm going to fire you right now, Drew.
No,
if he wins, it's gonna be mine.
My why I love sports is there's a young Lionel Messi fan. Doug, I know you're a huge Lionel Messi fan. Barcelona, Argentina star. Soccer.
No idea what you're talking about.
Talking soccer, Doug.
I thought it was a hockey player at first. Not
gonna lie. There was a 5-year-old boy in Afghanistan, I believe it was, young Afghan boy. Murtaza Almaty is his name. He's such a Lionel Messi fan that he decided to make a Lionel Messi jersey out of plastic bags. So he put the bags, put the part we just carried from, put them over his shoulders, painted it white and blue, and put Messi on the front and the back with his number. So it's a paper bag, Argentina, Lionel Messi jersey. Well, Lionel Messi caught heat of it and reached out to him, and is actually setting up a meet to bring this young boy out to meet him. Gave him a signed jersey. He's gonna bring him out to meet him and stuff. So just kudos to Lionel Messi reaching out to a young fan in a whole other country, a whole other part of the world, who's a huge fan of his, and taking his time out of his busy schedule with his club team and with his national team, and taking time out to make his dream come true. So my why I love sports is Lionel Messi.
There we go. Reaching out to a young fan, just wearing a plastic bag that he created a jersey. That's awesome. You know what I thought was the best part about that, though? They sent him a jersey and the whole kit, really.
Yep.
And he was training with the Afghan team, and he still put that plastic bag jersey over it. I thought that was the coolest. That was the cutest thing ever. That's so cool.
Yep.
Doug, what do you got for us, man?
Well, I mean, the reason I love sports is it's just how I grew up. I mean, my dad was a football coach. My dad was a track coach. My brother and I were same age, and we played the same sports together. And my sister was an athlete, and my brother went on to college, and now he coaches football, baseball. My sister coaches volleyball. I mean, that's just what I grew up with. But one of the things that really makes me appreciate sports more is the Lauryn Hill story from probably over a year now. She committed to play college basketball and found out that she was terminal with cancer, and she was told that she's not going to play, and the school moved the first game forward so that she could play, and they got her out there, and she was able to score, and she used this chance to get information out there to try and raise money and raise awareness, and unfortunately she lost her battle with cancer, and I remember watching it on SportsCenter, and I posted something about it, and Morgan was one of the first people to comment on it. It was just a sad story, and it's a horrible loss because she was an amazing person. And the sports brings people together. No matter what sport it is, no matter if they're an all-star, off the bench player, a kicker, a whatever, they're still an athlete, and they have an impact on lives. No matter how much they realize it, no matter how much they know, even the smallest role player that's out there, it can still affect someone's life with the right story, the right message, and it's one of those days where I watched ESPN and cried because this girl, lost her battle, and her message continued on with that. So it's one of the reasons I love sports. It's just because it brings us all together. Even if we can't see eye to eye on everything, we can still sit and talk about stuff like this.
Definitely without a doubt. And I know we all remember that story pretty vividly. It was a tough one to take at the end. I think you weren't the only one who shed a tear when that story came out. My why I love sports kind of ties into what we talked about earlier with the Michigan recruiting. During the Signing of the Stars event, this event was really created for a foundation called Chad Tuff Foundation. Chad Tough Foundation was founded after Chad Carr. He was the grandson of former Michigan head coach Lloyd Carr. He passed away after battling a pediatric brain tumor, and his family and the Michigan community really started this foundation to fight against pediatric brain tumors. Which, honestly, if you can't get behind that, you have no soul. It's a great foundation. They're really, and during the signing of the Stars event, everything they collected was donations. In a 2.5-hour event, the Chad Tough Foundation, excuse me, they got over $110,000 in donations. This one event. So this is really, really taking a spectacle that is recruiting and turning it into a great event for this foundation. And I thought it was amazing that in that short amount of time, so many people donated. So many people gave money, time, effort into this. And I know when Chad Carr passed away, the Ohio State Buckeyes community reached out to the Michigan community, to the Carr family. And as Doug just said, it brings us all together. Some things are bigger than sports, and that was definitely one of them. So shout out to a Michigan man giving a shout out to the Ohio State community for their class during that event. And a shout out to Michigan for turning the spectacle of recruiting into a great event for the Chad Tough Foundation. So that's mine. All right. Well, we thank you again for listening today. We'll be back next week on Tuesday. We'll have our schedule of what we're going to talk about coming out later in the week. Be sure to like us on Facebook, 2BlueandOSU. Follow us on Twitter, at 2BlueandOSU. Morgan, Doug, it was an awesome time with you guys today, and we'll get you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Yes, sir.